Hey everyone, my name is Lara and this is the Yearning Void podcast. Welcome to this very first episode. Yeah! I hear you, people. We don't need another knitting podcast. But I guess we want another knitting podcast, right? So here I am, coming to you from Kiel in northern Germany. It's a city right at the coast of the Baltic Sea. So in the summer, you can probably find me knitting at the beach, which is great. But sometimes it's raining and sometimes it's cold. So I'd rather not go to the beach. I'm 34 years old and I'm living together with my boyfriend, my 5-year-old child, and 2 cats, which are surprisingly quiet at the moment. Let's keep our fingers crossed that it will stay that way, so I can show you my recent projects, my yet-to-be projects, my works in progress, what have you. It's all right next to me, out of frame, on my dining table. And we should dive in because I don't want to make this a very long episode. You know, we've got to get to know each other. And admittedly, I'm quite nervous. All right, so one of my recent finished objects, it's actually my most recent finished object, is this very sweater. It's the Sorrel sweater by Wool&Pine design, and in this case it's made out of Cardigan merino sock yarn. Cardigan is a Hamburg based, so for me quite a regional thing. Small business, I guess it's a small business with hand-dyed yarns, and it's the colorway Gletscher Ice. So it's this very beautiful dark turquoise teal with black speckles and dark blue spots, and I held it together with a strand of kit mohair silk by the Danish company, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, Isaga. I guess it's a dark green color and it gives it this beautiful, beautiful, shiny dark green halo. And I must admit, I didn't know the company before, so the Danish one with the mohair yarn. But it's like the best quality of kit mohair silk yarn I've been working with up to this date. It's so soft. Those mohair fiber bits are so long. I don't know if you can see it, but damn, that's good. That's good mohair. And I've been working on this sweater since mid-September, but it wasn't the only sweater I've been knitting since then, or within the same time period. So yeah, it took me a while to finish, but yeah, I actually made 2 adult sweaters in 6 weeks. I don't want to brag here, it's just, it felt as if it would take forever. You know, these sweaters, especially this dip stitch pattern on the yoke, it worked up so slow. And I'm a fast knitter, but this was a very mindful, slow project for me. Yeah, but I love it. I guess it's about to become my favorite sweater. It's perfect. I used to wear not only black garments, but also a lot of yellows, a lot of orange, and this teal and green color is just perfect. Perfect match for all my yellow and orange things. I guess there's mohair sticking to my nose. Ah. All right. Next thing, of my 3 finished objects from the last 2 months, it was the first and actually the only one. No, that's not correct. But the only finished object which I didn't post a photo of to Instagram. I don't know exactly why. When I finished it, I was at my parents' and I just didn't feel like taking beauty shots of my finished hat. Did I mention it's a hat? It's a hat. And after that, I don't know. It was just I didn't feel like taking photos. I've been wearing it a lot, but I didn't take photos, so here it is. First time. It's the Honey Study Hat by Andrea Knits, also known as Andrea Mowry. She's my favorite knitwear designer, so you might see a lot of her projects or her designs in the future. And it's made out of Biche et Bouche Le Petit Lamb's Wool, so it's 100% lamb's wool, and it might actually be Wool&Spun. I'm about 99% sure that's a Wool&Spun yarn. If you ever worked with the Brooklyn Tweed Loft, which is a Wool&Spun yarn, you'd recognize that this is basically the same yarn, just without the tweed naps, you know. It's in the color mustard yellow, and I guess it looks rather strange playing with this hat all the time. Okay. I will put it on so I can show you how it fits. At first I thought it would be too short, too tight, too thin. During the whole knitting process, I wasn't very... I wasn't so conscious about my yarn choice. But in the end, it's a nice hat. It's not too warm, but it's also not too thin because of the woolen nature of this yarn, which traps so much air between the fibers. And I like to wear it. I'm wearing it like 4 out of 7 days, basically. There are quite some hats in my collection. Hat stash? Is there something like a hat stash? Is that a thing? No, I don't think so. That doesn't make sense. All right. The hat. The sweater. What else is there? Another sweater. Last week it was my boyfriend's birthday, and last year I sewed him a hoodie, and he likes that hoodie. He wears it not all the time because he has got other hoodies, but he likes to wear it. But I always wanted to knit a sweater for him, but he doesn't really like wearing woolen sweaters because he tends to get overheated very fast, and for him it doesn't get cold enough in the winter. For me it's a different story. But yeah, but I always thought like, well, if I knit him a sweater and he only wears it like 3 days a year, that's okay. He will look cute in it. So I thought about which pattern I should use, and there were basically 2 sweater patterns that I couldn't decide for the longest time. On one side there was the Anchor sweater by Petite Knit, and on the other side there was the Single Malt sweater by Maxime Cyr, aka Max the Knitter. And I think when it comes to yarn weight and potentially never going to wear this sweater because it's always too warm for him, the Anchor sweater would have been the better choice because it's, I don't know, DK or worsted weight. But the Single Malt sweater looks so classy, and I could see it. You know, I could imagine how he wears this sweater with his shoulders and the raglan seams, which are pretty, I don't think it's unique, but it looks polished. Just very, very neat. But it's Aran weight. But yeah, I chose the Single Malt sweater. And then I had to choose the right yarn. I am hand dyeing my yarn, so I just checked on the websites that I prefer to order yarn or knitting, spinning fibers for dyeing. I looked up some Aran weight yarns. There weren't many, so what I picked was a 100% non-superwash Shetland wool Aran weight yarn, and the yardage was actually the same as the originally used yarn for the sweater, which was some Les Garçons blue-faced Leicester, I guess. And my boyfriend has got 2 favorite colors. One is green and one is purple. And I chose to dye the yarn in green, but kind of variegated, not a solid color. And yeah, this is the heavy green Single Malt sweater, which is, excuse me for a bit, which is full of lint, and I don't know what he did with his sweater. It's huge, man. He's a tall boy, but it's beautiful. You can't see me, isn't it? It's so beautiful. He didn't wear it yet. It's too warm. It's too warm still. But I hope that he'll be wearing it like 3 times this winter, maybe. I'm okay with that. Next time I'll knit a DK weight sweater and everything will be fine. I loved knitting this pattern. It was more intriguing than I thought it would be, because it's simply, you know, knit in purse stitches, but those short rows and the raglan seams sometimes messed up my focus, which is a problem that I have. All right, what's next? I started knitting the Birch Pullover by Andrea Mowry, and I also used the Biche et Bouche Le Petit Lamb's Wool in a green-blue color, which isn't that green compared to my sweater. It's rather gray, but I think it'll suit me. I hope it focuses. I cannot check. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And I started, when did I start? 2 days ago, 3 days ago, a couple of days ago, this week. This is my favorite project bag, which I sewed myself. Has a long shoulder strap and drawstrings and little inside pockets. It's my favorite color. It's orange. Yay! And here's what I did so far. Not very far, but you know, fingering weight and how fisherman's rib is. It's something. It takes a little time, and it also takes a little, well, I don't know. I can't watch a show when I'm knitting this, but it's beautiful. It's squishy. It's not too soft. It shall be warm. It smells like frying pan because I took it to a cafe where they also prepared wraps and bowls with burger patties and what have you. And the ventilation was not that good. So yeah, keep smelling. Yum yum. I try not to rush it with my knitting projects at the moment because I've got so many hobbies: knitting, sewing, spinning, the occasional embroidery / mending. I'm cooking every day, every evening. I'm cooking a whole meal. You know, sometimes I don't understand this whole weeknight dinner in 15 minutes, food prep for 5 days. It's just not my thing. I have to cook like extraordinary meals every day because I'm worth it and I love eating. So this takes a lot of time. I also do, of course, engage with my child, who takes a lot of time and focus from me as well. And sometimes I can knit while playing with my child or talking to my child. But most of the time I have to ride my bike to get to play dates or to figure skating, sports, whatever. And I have some trouble prioritizing my hobbies and what I do in a day because usually my spare time is very limited, but I have the idea of doing 8 things at once. And sometimes I wish I were a spider because with 8 arms and in best case even 8 hands, I could do more than one thing at a time. And the thing that that I really missed on in the last years was reading. You see this huge, I mean, you cannot even see the glory of this bookshelf, but I've got so many books that I didn't read yet. And every time when I think, oh man, I want to read, there's this voice in my head that says, no, you gotta knit, period. And that's hard. Sometimes I want to read, but I can't because I have this fear of missing out on knitting. But it doesn't matter if my sweater gets finished like today or tomorrow or next week or next month or next season. I don't care. It's not that I don't, or I shouldn't care. It's not that I don't have anything to wear. I don't have to go to work naked, or I don't only have one single sweater. My closet is full of things to wear. I don't need another finished sweater, but I need it here, now. But then I decided to keep calm, to let my knitting rest, and to focus on reading. Oh, my cat is doing so such cute things. You want to come to the lab? Oh, maybe he'll come over. Yeah. What's life without a cat on the lab, right? So I decided that I want to read, at least in the mornings with my coffee, maybe some occasional pages when I'm going to bed. But usually I'm so tired that I can only read like one page and then fall fast asleep. Oh, my baby. So I have no idea when my sweater will be finished. And there's another reason for that, because I've been dyeing 1 kilogram, which is 10 100-gram strands of sock yarn for a new cardigan. For the longest time I wanted to knit the Marled Mania cardigan by Westknits because it's so cool, and you know, it's Westknits. You can play with colors and with shapes and with the fit and the ease, and I will eventually add pockets to this cardigan. And I took some weeks, even months, weeks. I took some time to decide what the right color palette would be. As I mentioned before, I'm usually wearing black, yellow, orange, and sometimes it goes into green, sometimes even into brown hues, and that's what I decided as what I chose as a color palette for this Marled Mania. Oh wow, that's such a word, marled. That's it, the Marled Mania cardigan. So now that I have a cat on my lap, it's getting difficult. Let's take a look into this bag of wonders. So what do we have here? drops Kid Silk Mohair in the dark green color. I think it's just called dark green. Not quite sure. I hope you can see it. It's not as soft as this mohair, but it was like half the price of this one. I don't know, maybe even less. And I'm going to use this one, this Kid Mohair Silk, for the ribbing on the collar and on the sleeves. It's 4 skeins, should be enough for all of them. Ooh, is this the same dye lot? Looks so different. Oh yeah, it is. Glad that I checked. So this is dark green because the ribbing is going to be dark green with a little blue and a little black. I have this very, very cheap yarn ball winder, and it makes my yarn balls crooked. But it's Christmas soon. So, yeah. Both skeins are quite different. That's because I threw in one skein first into the dye bath and realized that it just sucked up all of the dye. And then I had to make some more of the dye bath, like take the powder and sprinkle it over and throw it in. And then I realized I took the wrong color. But yeah, they don't have to get next to each other, so I shouldn't mind. I don't really. Baby booby. Then yellow with green and like caramel brown speckles. There's much yellow in here. This is a rather golden yellow with beige and also some orange and green speckles. You know, I wanted to dye semi-solids, but then I thought, semi-solids are good, but you know what's great? Speckled yarn. Another kind of yellow one, it's like a mustard yellow with dark brown speckles, because I will use it next to this very beautiful dark brown, teddy bear brown color, which in some light looks rather purple, but trust me, it's not, because there are usually 2 colors that I don't like, which are pink and purple. Boo-boo. Next one. Isn't it beautiful? It's so great. I could eat it. Eat it. Caramel brown. Again with some other brown speckles. Orange with speckles. In a darker orange that's kind of a saffron spice color with greens and browns, and I wish I did this episode before winding the yarn bolts, but I actually wanted to start knitting this cardigan yesterday. But yeah, that's how it is. And we have 2 more greens. This one should be kind of an avocado green. It doesn't look like avocado, neither the flesh nor the peel, the skin, you know, the avocado skin. Doesn't look like it. And another kind of variegated yellowish green with blue speckles, yellow speckles, black speckles. Just overall beautiful. Now, biche et bouche, biche et bouche, biche et bouche. Oh man, that's kind of a name. So, there's one more thing I want to talk about today, which is my first Christmas gift knit of 2023. Wow, it's November 2023. Time is a flat circle. I plan on knitting a couple Harlow heads by Andrea Knits for the family, you know, different family members, different head sizes. Everyone gets their Harlow head. You know, it's a quick knit and easy, but also very beautiful because it's brioche. And I hope this family member won't watch this episode, because then it won't be a surprise anymore. So, first the cat, then the yarn. This is the same sock yarn base which I showed you before. I dyed up 14 skeins of yarn individually on the same day, and let me tell you, that's nothing I will do again ever. Will never ever do this again. It took so much time, you know, for those individual skeins of yarn. If I had a small business, if I were to sell this yarn, it would be different. I would be dyeing up like 4 skeins or even 10 skeins of the same color at the same time, but not 1 skein. Actually, I used 2 pots, so it was 2 skeins at the same time. But anyways, I will never do this again. What we have here is a light persimmon or apricot orange, and something that turned out quite, I don't know how to call it, like light denim. It should have been a sage green, and I'm kind of disappointed because for weeks I imagined this beautiful head in a light and crisp orange and a subtle sage green, but it's not. Anyways, it's going to be fine. It's going to look very well. This is the outside. I mean, it's a completely reversible head. Reversible? Is that correct? Reversible, right? okay? But I usually think about which of those colors would be the person's favorite color. And in this case, I know it's orange. And I always use this color, this favorite color, as the contrast color, because in my opinion, the inside or the reverse side of the Harlow head is more beautiful than the outside. And in this case, it's the orange, and now that's not much of a difference now with this like 1.5 centimeters of knit fabric, but it's great. I love it. I wish I could wear this. Ah, beautiful. That's the thing about gift knitting. I usually knit things that I would want to wear or possess myself. I will knit another Harlow head in different colors. I got them here. This is for sure the last thing I'm gonna show you today. 1 year ago I knitted the, what was it called again? Something with marled, because it's my favorite word, marled. Was it marled magic? No. Some marled shawl by West Knits. And I also dyed up a color fade, and I put in a blue, quite similar to this accidental, not sage green, but denim blue color. And I didn't use it because the whole shawl was rather yellow and greens, and the blue just didn't fit in. So this is it with cat hair. Of course, cat hair everywhere. You're everywhere. So you can see I used this cake before and just unraveled and wound it up again. And I'm gonna combine it with this red purple, I don't know how to call it. It's a beautiful color, and I think the family member who will get this Harlow head will be happy with it. There are some rather grayish blue parts inside. There you might see it, but I'm okay with that. I mean, gets together quite well. You see, much to do in the next month. Actually, I also want to knit a head for my boyfriend and for my child, and maybe even for a friend of mine and their child. But yeah, reading, right? I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that I will enjoy doing this, filming these videos, because I always want to show you and tell you everything. Like in my head, there's always someone I'm talking to. Oh wow, that sounds so creepy. But it's also quite stressful to dive into this topic because I'm filming with my phone, which is not the newest best phone with the newest and best camera. I'm sitting here with my cat on the lap talking like a potato. I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. I really did myself. Until next time, which will hopefully be very soon. and hopefully I will be starting on my, I will not say this word again, cardigan by Westnitz soon. And yeah, have a great time. Until then, bye.